Let's talk Tanya for the 21st of Shevat. Yesterday, we spoke about the importance of living a life that is infused with positive emotions, happiness, excitement, a certain lightness to life, and the importance of staying away from negative emotions. The question obviously is, how do we do so? And today we start dealing with our negative emotions. In today's Tanya, we're not going to deal with any one particular negative emotion. We're going to deal with a root cause of many different types of negative emotions. And what is that? Difficulty, suffering, pain, tragedy, from the serious suffering in life to the annoyances in life, which also can put us in a negative emotional space. How do we deal with them? The foundational idea over here that we need to understand is that God loves us. When I say us, I don't just mean us in the collective sense. The Baal Shem Tov tells us that God loves each and every one of us like a elderly couple that were childless and had a child in their older age. Imagine how much love this mother and father have for their child. God loves every single one of us individually as much as that, and actually infinitely more than that. Ultimately, that's only an example of love in this world. That's an incredible example of love. But a human being is only capable of a finite love because we are finite individuals. God, on the other hand, is infinite and unlimited, and therefore his love for every single one of us is infinite and unlimited. Take a moment to contemplate that. How often do we think about that? Not God loves us collectively, but God loves me incredibly and unconditionally. That's one point. The second point is that God is in control of everything. So, to do a simple math equation, 1 + 1 = 2, or in our case, God loves me plus God controls everything equals everything that happens to me has to be good by definition, because if God loves me and he controls everything, he wouldn't allow something bad to happen to me. So the question becomes, if God loves us and if he controls everything, then why is it that at times we are in situations that are so difficult and so painful? Why does God allow us to suffer? And in simple words, the answer to that is that sometimes God's kindness is too great and too high for us simple, limited beings to be able to understand. To use an analogy, imagine you have a parent and you have the parent has a 2-year-old child. If the parent loves the child, obviously. If the parent wants to be kind to the child, what is the parent going to do for the child? So the parent can give the child a lollipop. The child will smile and will dance. The child is going to be very excited. Wow, my mommy loves me. Or the parent can start putting away money in a savings account for the child for later on in life. The child won't appreciate that at all. The parent can go and show the child the bank invoice every single month. Take a look. Another few $100 in your bank account. It means absolutely nothing to the child. Sometimes even the parent has to do things for the child which the child experiences as painful. You have to go to sleep now because you have to be up early tomorrow morning to go to school. Oh, you're a mean tati. You're a mean daddy. Why would you do that? What's interesting is that you have two types of kindness. There is the type of kindness which the child can relate to, a kindness on the child's terms, and then you have the type of kindness which the child can't relate to, a kindness on the parent's terms. And always, the kindness that the child cannot relate to, in fact, maybe even the kindness that the child looks at and says, oh, that was mean, is actually the greater kindness. Why is that? The very fact that the child can understand it shows us that it is too big for the child to understand and to relate to, which means it is a greater kindness. The same thing is when it comes to God's relationship with us. God loves us. Every single thing that he does to us and for us is love and is kindness. Sometimes he's giving us lollipops, and when he gives us lollipops, we can relate it and we can appreciate it. Those are the things in life that we appreciate and observe as good. And when things are painful, we have to understand those are kindnesses that are on God's terms. Those are also kindness. That's also love. In fact, it's a greater love and a greater kindness. And there's a deeper idea over here. It's not only that it's a greater kindness, a greater gift, but the key point, what I said, it's a greater love. If I truly treasure my relationship with God, more than all the material things here in the world, more than lollipops that I get, and when someone is in a state where they're having a difficulty, they're having suffering, they're able to think and contemplate. It's not only this is a greater gift, it's a greater love. It's a more intimate relationship with God. And that's something, if the person actually treasures their relationship with God, is a source of consolation and a way to get rid of the negative emotions. What negative emotions are we talking about over here? As we said, pain and suffering, they lead to a variety of negative emotions. Anxiety, worry, fear, loneliness, helplessness, anger, despair, all of these things. If we contemplate this one idea, God loves me, and Gamzula Toiva, everything he does is good. And if it doesn't feel like it's good, it's actually a greater good and a deeper level of love. That is a way of lessening, reducing, and perhaps even doing away with those negative emotions. That's this package of negative emotions. Tomorrow we're going to turn to another highly toxic negative emotion. Tomorrow we will be discussing guilt.